My name is Sarah. I'm 27 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that will make your blood boil. Have you ever trusted someone so much that you didn't lock your bedroom door around them? Have you ever believed that family would never hurt you, no matter what? I did. And that choice almost destroyed everything I worked for. Let me take you back to where this nightmare started. I grew up in a small town in Ohio where everybody knew everybody. My parents owned a diner. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. My mom was always in the kitchen. My dad was always at the register. And I was always watching, learning, dreaming about building something of my own one day. My younger brother Marcus came along when I was 8. We were close, really close. The kind of close where you think nothing could ever break that bond. We did everything together. We made plans together. We promised each other that no matter what happened in life, we'd always have each other's back. When I turned 19, I made a big decision. I left our small town. I moved to the city. I got a job at a corporate hotel as a front desk manager. I worked there for 4 long years. Every single penny I made, I saved. I skipped vacations. I skipped parties. I turned down dates because I was too tired. I had one goal, and that goal was to open my own bed and breakfast. Not just any bed and breakfast. I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted guests to walk in and feel like they were coming home. By the time I was 23, I had saved $60,000. 60,000. That money was my life. That money was my dream. Then Marcus called me one day. His voice sounded different, smaller somehow. He told me he had met someone. Her name was Jennifer. She was pretty. She was smart. She was everything according to Marcus. 3 months later, they got married. I flew home for the wedding. Jennifer seemed nice enough, but something about her bothered me. I couldn't put my finger on it at first. It was just a feeling. But then I noticed the way she looked at Marcus's bank account online. The way her eyes lit up when she talked about money. The way she suddenly became best friends with Marcus's mother, always asking about family finances, about inheritances, about retirement accounts. That's when the feeling turned into a warning bell in my stomach. I tried to talk to Marcus about it. I really did, but he just laughed and said I was being paranoid. He said Jennifer loved him. He said I was being a jealous sister. Those words hurt, but I let it go. I shouldn't have let it go. Fast forward 2 years, I opened my bed and breakfast. It was small. It only had 6 rooms, but every room was decorated perfectly. Every guest left a 5-star review. My dream was becoming real. I was making good money, real money, not just survival money, prosperity money. Then came the family reunion. It was at our parents' house in Ohio. The whole family was coming. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, even Marcus and Jennifer. I drove down feeling proud. I brought photos of my business. I brought stories about my guests. I was excited to share my success with the people I loved. But something felt off the moment I walked through that door. Jennifer was extra sweet to me that weekend. Too sweet. She kept asking me questions about my business. How many guests did I get? How much was I charging per room? How much money was I keeping after expenses? Normal questions, maybe, but the way she asked them felt like she was taking notes in her mind, like she was calculating something. The first night I went to my childhood bedroom to rest. I noticed my laptop was open. I always close my laptop. I'm careful about that, but there it was, open on my bed. My heart started beating faster. I checked everything. My passwords, my bank accounts, everything looked normal, but that feeling came back, that warning. I didn't tell anyone. I just closed my laptop and locked it in my suitcase. I didn't sleep well that night. The next morning at breakfast, I checked my phone. There was an email from my bank. It said, "Suspicious activity DTCTD on your account." My stomach dropped. I ran to the bathroom and pulled up my bank app. My hands were shaking. I looked at my checking account, looked at my savings account, looked at my business account, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. $230,000. Gone. All of it, every penny I had worked for since I was 19 years old. Every late night, every sacrifice, every dream, stolen. And it wasn't just moved to another bank. It was transferred to an account I didn't recognize. Multiple transfers. starting at midnight, ending at 5 in the morning. It was methodical. It was planned. I stumbled back into the kitchen. Everyone was eating breakfast, laughing, talking about normal things, and I felt like I was in a dream, a nightmare. I couldn't find my words at first. I just sat down. And then I said it, my money. Something happened to my money. Everyone stopped. My mom's fork froze in the air. My dad looked up. Even Marcus's face changed. But Jennifer, she kept eating, like nothing had happened. I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the bank notification. I showed them the transfers. I showed them the proof that someone had drained my entire life from my account overnight. My mom started crying. My dad's face turned red. My aunts started talking over each other, but Marcus and Jennifer stayed quiet. Jennifer's hand was on Marcus's arm, holding him back from something, or maybe holding him still. I looked at Marcus. "Brother," I said, "tell me you know nothing about this." He looked at me, and he looked away. That told me everything. Jennifer suddenly stood up. "This is ridiculous. Sarah, maybe you spent more than you thought. Maybe you miscalculated." "No," I said quietly. "I know my own money." I looked straight at her. "You were in my room yesterday, weren't you?" She laughed, that fake laugh, that laugh that made my skin crawl. "Why would I care about your laptop?" "Because," I said, standing up, "because you need money. I've seen how you look at my brother. I've seen how you ask about everything. And now my entire life is gone." Jennifer's face changed. It got cold, colder than I've ever seen a person's face get. "Your brother and I have expenses," she said. "We have bills. We have a lifestyle to maintain. Your little bed and breakfast was making more than enough for you. We needed it more than you do anyway." The room went silent. Those words, those cruel words, that's when something inside me snapped. That's when I realized that this was not an accident. This was not a mistake. This was calculated. This was intentional. I reached into my bag, and I pulled out my phone. "Then you won't mind what's coming next," I said. My voice was steady. My voice was clear. My voice was the voice of someone who had been planning. I made one phone call. That was all it took. Bang! The front door burst open. Federal agents, 3 of them. They came through that door like thunder. Everyone froze. My mom gasped. My dad stood up. My aunts covered their mouths. But I had already turned around. I was already watching Jennifer's face turn from cold to terrified. "Do not move," the agent said, looking straight at Jennifer and Marcus. "See, here's what Jennifer didn't know. I'm not just a bed and breakfast owner. I also work with financial crime investigators. I train people on how to spot fraud. I've been doing it for 3 years. It was my side job. My passion was teaching people how to protect themselves." When I saw my laptop open on that bed, I didn't just close it. I ACTIVATED every single security protocol I had installed. Cameras, keystroke logging, device tracking, everything. I had evidence. Clear, beautiful, damning evidence of Jennifer using MY laptop to access my accounts and transfer MY money. The agents put handcuffs on her. They read her rights. She was screaming about how this was unfair, how Marcus knew nothing about it, how she was just trying to help their situation. Marcus just stood there, looking at his sister, looking at his wife, and I could see the moment he understood. I could see the moment he realized that his wife had used HIM, that his wife had lied to him, that his wife had stolen from me using information he didn't even know she had. But here's the thing about revenge. Real revenge isn't about making someone suffer. Real revenge is about protecting yourself and making sure it never happens again. As they were taking Jennifer out, Marcus tried to speak to me. He was crying. He was saying he didn't know. He was saying he was sorry. But I just looked at him and I said, "You had a choice. You could have trusted your sister. You could have BELIEVED me, but you chose her. And now you have to live with that choice." 1 week later, the bank called. They had frozen the fraudulent transfers. They had tracked the money. 98% of my money was recovered. The rest was covered by fraud protection. I was whole again. But Jennifer, she wasn't whole. She was ARRESTED. She was charged with federal fraud. identity theft, wire fraud. She's currently serving 5 years in prison. And Marcus, he's still calling me, still leaving voicemails apologizing. But I'm not ready to forgive him yet. Maybe I will be, maybe I won't. That's my choice to make now. My parents helped me reopen my bed and breakfast. It's bigger now, 12 rooms instead of 6, and every single guest I welcome walks into a space that was saved, a dream that was protected. Here's what I learned from this nightmare. Never give your trust blindly, even to family, even to people you love. Protect your passwords, protect your accounts, protect your dreams. And if someone tries to take them from you, don't cry about it, don't beg for them back. Document everything, protect yourself, and then you let justice do its job. If you've ever been betrayed by someone close to you, I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you did. Let me know how you fought back. And if you're watching this right now and someone is stealing from you, don't wait. Don't hope they'll stop. ACT, protect, fight. Because family doesn't get to hurt you just because they're family. Blood doesn't give anyone the right to destroy your dreams. And revenge. Real revenge is simply refusing to let them win.